What's up, everybody? $1.61 XRP. Can you say it again? Yes, $1.61. This is literally the finish line. I mean, we're so close. We are so close for this thing completely melting everybody's face. I mean, this thing is totally just really impressing me right now, to be honest. The speed, the velocity. I've always said it's quick, but when you live in the moment, man, it is quick. I mean, it's fast. I mean, this is the 2-month chart here, and you can see we have 2, 4, right? So that's 4 months right here. We're not even on the second candle yet, and we still have a month to go with this candle, right? You could see this was only one candle, and these were 2 candles. This was 1 candle. This was maybe 1.5. Okay, so I'm just saying, from a time perspective, it's got plenty of time. All right, let's check out Bitcoin here. Is Bitcoin at 100K yet, or what? Let's see. Did we hit 100K yet? Not quite. 99,790. So just imagine when Bitcoin hits 100K. It's going to be very interesting. So this thing is one giant triangle, right? So, I mean, you could look at it as an ascending triangle. Now it's technically an ascending triangle, right? Because now you have 1, 2, 3 points instead of it being a contracting triangle, right? We can get rid of that because we totally smoked the downward resistance line. So now an ascending triangle is much more bullish. An ascending triangle is the most bullish triangle there is by far. So let's see if we can connect the dots here. Let me get a trend line going. I'm just going to start it from way over here. Actually, problem with the ascending triangle is that means we could probably come back down and test over here before really getting out of here. You know, there's always that risk. Either this is how it's going to go down. Number one, you know, like I said, I don't know how my channel's been on for a year. And I've always said that October, November, December, seasonality is the most bullish time for crypto by far, right? And then you also have spring, like February, March, April, May, right? And then usually summer and late summer is kind of dead, boring, bearish, right? So there's a couple ways it's going to go down. Either this is going to be very fast, and like I said, it took, you know, maybe 1, 2 candles, 1, 2 candles, maybe a little bit of a breather, and then 1 more candle, right? Something like that. You know, quick. The other way is that this thing is going too fast, and people are going to take advantage, and they're going to sell right around $1.75, $2. And then what's going to happen is we're going to pull all the way back, maybe even back down to this trend line, which, to be honest, is a long time. Because watch this. If I go, and it's not even really feasible, actually, because when you look at it, I mean, here is 2025. We'll just put it right about there. And then here's 2026, right about there. So those 2 lines, that's 1 year, right? So think about it. Imagine hitting this resistance, right? If this is an ascending triangle, imagine hitting this and then having to pull back for a whole year, right? You went all the way up very fast. Very fast. And then it takes a whole year to correct back down to the base of this ascending triangle, and then it takes another maybe couple of months to get back to the top, and then boom, right? So those are the two options. I'm just letting you know it could be, we could see something like that. But to me, it doesn't really make too much sense, given that I can't see the bull run going that far unless some massive black swan something takes us back down to retest this breakout level at 73 cents or so. So if we have to go back down to 73, it's going to take time to get there. It's not, and if it happens fast, then that's even more bearish. So hopefully that's not the idea, right? So we could just, let's just get rid of that. But I'm just letting you know that could be something that nobody expects, because nobody I've seen or heard even mention that idea. This is the first time I'm mentioning that idea, because we always look at this as a contracting triangle, right? And we broke out. However, if this is a high, this is a low, a lower high, right? And now if we can make finally a higher high, it would really invalidate that ascending triangle. But yeah, looking at it on the 2-month chart. By the way, I just put a members video out, and basically talking about XRP and different types of selling strategies, when to sell, how to, things like that. And it was just a little bit of an introduction. It wasn't a full sort of example, but that'll come soon enough. So anyways, if you want to check that out, just click join. It's a few bucks a month, and if you like it, great. If you don't, just quit, cancel it. No big deal. Worst thing is you burn a cup of coffee. So anyways, I think that's about it for the monthly and the weekly. Let's zoom in to the small time frames. I will say, however, the weekly, right, closes on Sunday, obviously, right? And it'll be very interesting if we can close above this order block, which is at $1.56. So if we can close, if we can stay above $1.56 by Sunday evening, or Sunday night for some people, and that's going to be a big signal, because we've basically cleared through all the retracement levels. I mean, look at this. Actually, let me go down to here. And if you look at let's go to the 2-hour. Okay. You can see, actually, today's candle, you could see we closed right under the 702, right? So the opening candle, which will be this candle tomorrow, or you should say tomorrow's candle. Well, for me, it's like 6 o'clock in the evening, but for some people it's different. But for tomorrow's candle, I should say, we've already cleared above the 702. So, but we still need a full day's candle to close above the 702. So that's going to be the challenge, is can we close tomorrow's candle above the 702 Fibonacci retracement level. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, I can see 1, 2, I can see 3, I can see 4, and I can see 5. Exactly what we talked about, and it makes sense to get up there to $1.60. So my question is, when are we going to flag out? When are we going to get something, a little bit, even kind of like this, right? I mean, let's see, how long did that take? This took approximately 17 days from the bottom to the low. And then it took an additional 30 days, or it took 30 days to break above, right? So we'll just say 15 days to the low and another 15 days to take the top. All right, so actually it'd be best if I just take a bars pattern here and just kind of do that. There we go. And then we'll bring it back over here just to get an idea of how this correction, once we get it, how's it going to look, right? How long is it going to take, So it makes sense that we should start correcting now, given the fact that we're right at the top here. And basically anything above this, I mean, you're really in price discovery. You got a little bit over here, but nothing really notable. So let's see. Let's pull it up here. Let's see, how would I do this? I mean, I'm not trying to do it from a structure perspective. I'm just trying to do it from a time perspective. So yeah, it could look something like that, where maybe we come up, maybe hit the top here a little bit, and then we flag out, right, for the next 2 weeks. And then after that, 2 weeks later, we break the top, and then that's when the real explosive move occurs. So we'll see. Some people say $20, some people say $10, some people say $27, some people say $30. It's best to be conservative. It's best to have your expectations low and conservative. That way, if it surpasses it, you can be pleasantly surprised rather than utterly disappointed that it missed it. You know what I mean? It's all about perception. But man, that's quite a bit of green candles there, I would have to say. So should look for some type of correction coming up soon. Let's look at the small time frames. All right. So there's a couple ways we could look at this. Number 1, 2, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then we get 4, then we get 5. Maybe up to $2, right? Another way is that this was an A, B, C, and then this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then maybe we get 5 a little bit later. And then we start correcting. Could take a week, could take 3 weeks, depends, I mean, for example, look how large, if this is a wave 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then we had a 3-wave pullback, right? And then we had another 1 and another 3-wave pullback. Look how long that took, right? That took quite a bit of time. So I don't think it's going to take that long for a 4th wave. But, it could. So if you look back over here, look how long that really took. That took a long time. But we had already broken above the all-time high, and basically, this was kind of like, this was basically the whole bull run, and this was like another bull run. So it was kind of like a little bit of a pit stop. But that took quite some time there. Let's see. That took about 200 days. Right? So much can change in 200 days. Sentiment, everything changes in 200 days. So enjoy it. enjoy it because it's not going to last forever. When it happens, it's beautiful, but it doesn't last forever. So hopefully it keeps pumping and it doesn't ever stop. Yeah, this is exactly what we wanted to see. Now the other retracement level, I mean, when you look at the whole entire thing, we still haven't even gotten to the 50% level yet, guys. And that's sitting here at $1.80, right? And the 702 is at 250, right? So we might have some pretty aggressive resistance, considering that it's retracement level resistance, right? But no real order block resistance. So it'll be very interesting to see how XRP reacts between $2 and $3. All right, so between $2 and $3 is kind of like foreign territory because we've only been there for a few days, maybe not even, maybe like a couple, maybe 2 weeks at the most. We were above $2, and that was it. So not too much price action above $2. So yeah, very, very cool. Now some XRP charts they don't go back this far, right? And they only have this top. So really, we've gotten through all the retracement levels when it comes to this top, or not all of them yet. We got through the 786, but we still have to close above, right? We have one more at 167. So, and then basically the all-time high here for some charts, right? Now this chart has the most history, but some of them don't. Now, how does that mean anything? Does that mean much? I mean, it just depends on whatever. Like Coinbase delisted XRP and destroyed its chart, so then it had to start over again. But companies like Uphold, they never delisted it. They stayed loyal, right? And I'll always remember that, even though Uphold I think sucks. And man, they want so much information. They want your social security number. They want your bank statements. They want to know where you work. They want to know all this stuff. I'm like, man, jeez. Like Coinbase is easy, I think, compared to Uphold, but maybe it'll change. I don't know. So yeah, that's XRP. It's ripping. What else can we say here? Looking at the small time frames, I mean, we got 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4, and then now it looks like 5 1 2 3 4 5. Now let's take a look at 5. If we zoom in here, do we have 5 with 5? Well, we have 3. We have an A, a B, and a C. It looks like an expanded flat. And then it looks like a 1, 2, and then 1, 2, maybe 3, 4, 5. So that would be 1, 2. All of this would be 3. And then we would get 4, and then 5. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So maybe about $1.75, $2, hard to say. So looking at the super small time frame here, you can see we shot up from $1.45 all the way up to about $1.60. Made a couple topping tails, and now we're pulling back. So interesting, very, very interesting. Could we come back? You could see, oh, look at that. Remember, I think we talked about that too, the broadening wedge. Yeah, so we have a broadening wedge here. It could be a broadening wedge is is often looked at as a reversal pattern. So this could be, if we don't get out of this, then this could be something like that, right? Because typically broadening wedges mean that's it. We're done, and which would make sense given that we've already had 5 waves, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So if we just start flagging out in here, maybe it takes a few weeks, reset the momentum, reset the RSI, because you really don't want to break above the all-time high until you cool off all the oscillators, right? So if we go to like the 3-day chart, turn on the RSI, look at it's cooked. It's an overbought, right? Overbought, overbought, overbought. And that's okay, but what you want is you want it flag out a little bit here, and you want this to come down like this. And then, actually, let me do that again here. Hold on. Let's say we get up to 7. I'll just put $7 to $15. There's your range, okay? And we just had 1, 2. This is 3. Then we get 4. Then we get 5. All right. So fourth comes down. Comes down, comes down, comes down. Right? Hopefully a lot. You want it to come down a lot. And then once we push up to wave 5, then you get the bearish divergence between the 3rd and the 5th. And then you get a little bit of a bigger correction, right? And then you can say, see, it's a little bit weird because is this 5 here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Or is that part of an ABC? Right? So that's going to be the tricky part, is figuring out how to count this thing once, it's all said and done. But that's why we just go little by little. But anyways, once we get this 5th wave, we have divergence between the 3rd and the 5th, right? We pull back a little bit, reset a little bit again, and then bam, all-time high. Somewhere up here, right? And that comes up and we get triple. Maybe we get triple. Or you can see what happened over here, right? And it'd probably be better if I do it on the weekly. Let's see. Yeah, so the weekly, it kind of just stays up there a little bit. So problem is we don't want it to reverse on the weekly. So if you look, I like to compare what we're doing now to this wave. So you could see this one came up and then it came down. We made another top, and then basically we had a double top on the RSI. So if we translate that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we pull back, right? Something like that, where we get a double top. And then what happened here, right, is we had a long consolidation, and this allowed the RSI to really cool off. And then we had one more hit to the high, right? And then it was kind of like a triple top, basically, right? So boom, boom, and then boom. So that's kind of how it happened last time. So we'll see how it all plays out. But yeah, I couldn't think. I mean, this is going perfectly. I couldn't ask for anything more. I mean, this exceeded all my expectations of how fast it would get to the retracement levels, of how easy it would knock through this. It knocked through that range like it wasn't even there. it knocked through this like it wasn't there, and it knocked through this like it wasn't even there. Like XRP's like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of being held down by the man. I'm gonna come up and rise, right? Or either that XRP was some like strung out drug addict, and the rest of the cryptos said, hey man, how come you didn't go on a bull run last cycle? Oh, because I failed the drug test. The SEC busted me. So I'm in a spiraling depression that took forever, 7 years. Depression, right? And then the other cryptos got together when XRP was just going downhill and said, you know what? We got to do something for XRP. We got to hold an intervention. So they sat in a room. They let XRP walk through the door. And they said, hey, we need to talk. And now XRP's in rehab and his spirits are high. So we'll see. We'll see how long it lasts. But look at this. We officially have our cup, or our handle rather. So we have a cup and we have a handle. So it's official. We have a cup and handle. So we can officially measure the handle, or the cup rather. You can also measure the now you could do it from the C19 low. I like to do it a little bit more conservative, right about there. And then if I take this up, you're looking at almost basically $20, right? So if I took it from the C19 low, which I just doubt that's going to be the case, but let's do it anyway. Up here, and then I go right about there. You're looking at about $30. All right. And then if I do the cup, and I'm very conservative about it, and I go up here, then we're looking at, that's still very well, $10, right? So those are 3 different measurements you can look at. I mean, we've already looked at many other measurements. Another one here is just by doing this, we are officially right at the 618. Look at that. So it's very interesting that the 702 comes in right at $1.58. That's why I feel like trend-based fib extensions are more accurate than regular extensions. I wish more people used them. I think they're better for trends and for targets, because you're getting multiple different points of measurements instead of just one. You know what I mean? So yeah, we smacked right into the 702. So this is going to be the challenge, getting above that basically 160 area. So and then after that, 177 1-to-1 extension comes in at 217. 1618 comes in at 333. So a 1618 extension from this first wave, if it is even a first wave. I mean, you know, there's different ways you can look at it. Either this is a wave 1 and this is a wave 2, right? And then this is like a 1-2, and then a 1-2, and we're ready to roll. Or you could say A, B, C, D, E, a contracting triangle. And this is the beginning of just wave 1. Then you get 2, then you get 3, then you get 4, then you get 5. Right? So still a long ways to go, but let's take a look back at the small time frames. Look at that. We found support here at $1.55. People bought the dip. They said, you know what, I can't miss this opportunity. And look at that. if you would have sold your Bitcoin like I did back over here when we were right in here, the reason why, right? Or let me, before I say that, if you would have sold your Bitcoin and bought XRP, you basically, let's see here, from here up to here, you basically had a 200% increase roughly. I would actually look at XRP versus Bitcoin rather. If I can find it real quick, there we go. Now I don't remember where I sold it. I don't think I didn't sell at the bottom. I want to say like right there, right around here. I'll have to look at the thing, but look at that. I gained 88% on my Bitcoin. Now I can sell it back into Bitcoin, right? But I'm kind of like waiting for alt season, to be honest. And XRP again is a first mover, and don't feel discouraged that your coin isn't moving up. Like, let's take a look at Theta Fuel for a minute here. Now, you look at XRP, you're like, wow, look how exciting it is. And you look at Theta Fuel, you're like, yeah, it's okay. Well, that's because Theta Fuel hasn't had its time yet. Like, for example, Dogecoin had a massive breakout, right? And XRP was just waddling, and I didn't sell my XRP to chase Doge. That means other people shouldn't sell their Theta Fuel to chase XRP. You know, it's kind of like musical chairs. Rotations occur. You just have to sort of stay planted, right? And then another thing too is, you know, let's say if I put XRP up here, you know, XRP shoots up, right? I can take some profit and put it into an asset that's still down here. And then I can ride that up again in the future, potentially, right? Maybe, maybe not. So you get to ride 200% to the upside, right? Get off, sell it back into a cheap coin, and then ride it up again 200%, right? So it's not financial advice, but you know, that's something to think about when it comes to rotating certain coins. Now, it could be a bad idea right now, right? XRP could go to $6 and Theta Fuel could still be in the retracement levels. So you don't want to do it all at once. You maybe 3%, maybe 4%, maybe 5%, right? And then kind of wait and see. And then let's say Theta Fuel starts moving up, and then the XRP start moving down, maybe a couple more percent, you know, and just kind of wait and see and fill it out. But I fully expect, you know, Theta Fuel to have its big debut here. You got a 1, you got a 2, you got a base, you broke out, you back tested the support area, you're building a base on top. It's about getting through the retracement levels, getting through these retracement levels, and then eventually we should see some all-time highs soon. Targets for Theta Fuel. So you got about $1.25 for that first target. You got about $2 for that second target, and you got about $2.50 for that third target, and then you got about $3.30 for the full 4.236 extension, and you're only at 6 cents, 7 cents, so that's a long ways to go. Let's see here from a percentage perspective. Wow, that's 4,500%. I mean, that could totally destroy XRP as far as percentage terms. You know what I mean? So it's all about percentage. I know, you know, if people holding Theta might not care about XRP and you see XRP exploding, and you might think, ah, man, how come it's not happening for... Trust me, it'll happen. It just takes time. Look how long XRP had to wait. XRP had to wait longer than any coin. So it was overdue. And I've said that many, many times. So, maybe some of you Theta guys bought some, and hopefully you did, and you're sitting pretty nice right now. But I don't think XRP can go 4,000%. Okay, that's just on another level. Because you got to think it's a big market cap. It's not no young teenager. You know what I mean? Like, they can run cross country. Well, I guess old people can too. Not me. But even if you hit the 1618 here, I mean, you're looking at almost 1,700%. So I would say 1,700% minimum for Theta Fuel, right? But that's only if, that's a big if, we can get through 70 cents. If we can get through 70 cents, then easily. But we got a lot of work to do. But if you look at XRP, I mean, it did it pretty fast. So, and it's a big market cap. So why couldn't Theta do it very fast? You know what I mean? Especially if things get crazy. It's got the beautiful W pattern that I'm looking for. So I'm actually happy that XRP moved first, because that's my biggest holding. And then what I can do is, when we're sitting up here, I can then rotate into something like this. So I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it. I have to know, the best case scenario of this is, you can just sit there. XRP hits $10. I sell it all. I go here, and then I write it up again. I mean, whoa, you're talking big money there. So basically, you get to have, most people get to experience one bull run. But if you know how to master it, you can experience 2 bull runs, sometimes even 3, right? By picking a coin, writing it up, not necessarily selling the top, maybe selling it right here or even right here, and then rotating it back and then writing it up again. You know what I mean? So, but it's very risky, and you got to know what you're doing, and you got to pick the right coins. I wouldn't do it with a meme coin. I wouldn't do it with, I would do it with the names that I trust. So, I think this thing should come up and tag that sometime this year, I would hope. All right, so Theta Fuel looks great. We got a bullish hammer candle on the 4-day, which is good. 4-hour. I mean, it hasn't even begun yet, guys. This thing could surprise a lot of people. You got a 1-2, and you got another 1-2, and this thing's cooking and cooking and cooking, and it's gonna fire, right? And when it does, what's XRP doing? Maybe XRP already is chilling out in its 4th, right? So, things don't run all simultaneously. They run in different areas. Look at that. We got a pump here. Getting a little bit of a pump here. So, anyways, let's keep moving here. XRP market cap. That's what I want to look at. $90 billion. Okay, the market cap is key. People forget to look at the market cap chart. Look where the market cap is. Okay, it's already at the top. It already broken everything. Look at that. It smashed through all of this, obviously, this, and this. right? But if you look at the price, remember, there's inflation, right? The price, Ripple releases 1 billion tokens a month. Okay, so there's quite a bit of inflation. You can say, well, why do you like XRP if there's so much? Well, because I'd rather them rip the Band-Aid off and release the supply fast than doing it slow, you know? Just get it over with, right? So if they dump the whole supply on the market today, it would still be a $45 billion market cap, which would put it at, I'm not sure, maybe $1 something, $1.10 maybe. Or actually, no. You're looking at, yeah, about $1. You're looking at about $1 if it decided to do that. But they should be completely done with their escrow, I think, in 3 years. So just keeping that in mind. But 1 billion tokens, it's not too much because people absorb it. You know, they're absorbing the supply as they should. And remember, even though XRP is melting people's face, we're still in the base. We're still in this thing. We haven't even broken out yet. I mean, come on. We haven't even begun yet. Guys, I actually like to have that yellow so I can see it a little better. There we go. Now, if you look at the market cap, notice how different it looks, right? It doesn't, you know, you actually have a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or I don't really like it a lot because, I mean, I'm always flipping back and forth. On one hand, the 2 is so much bigger than the 3 or the 4, right? So you could look at it, but then if you look at it like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then this is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think that's what it's going to do. Now, how high can it go? From a market cap perspective? Well, let's first do the Fibonacci levels. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. I don't know why I did that. Let's do the Fibonacci levels here for market cap. I mean, you're looking at $525 billion. I mean, you know, Ethereum is higher than that, I think, right? Let's see. Okay, so the all-time high for Ethereum market cap is 577 billion. So let's do this. Let's add XRP market cap and we'll do a new price scale. Okay, and then let's do regular. All right, so yeah, it doesn't really work because it's not going to show me. It's not going to show me what I want. All right. So right now we're at a $400 billion market cap. And Ethereum deserves it because they have a lot of users. Look how many things have been built on Ethereum. I mean, they deserve it. Even though they're slow, I think Ethereum is... I mean, I've been doing a little research on what they've been doing lately, and I think it's a slow burner for them. I think overall it'll be a long-term investment, but I think they're going to have a good bull cycle. It's not going to be taken over by Solana like everybody thinks, or Sui. Maybe it'll take some of its, its share away. But you don't really want to doubt Ethereum because there's so much built on it. And, people say, oh, the ETFs were, and they weren't no good, and Ethereum is slow and this and that. And yeah, it's true, but they're continually progressing. There's so many people developing on Ethereum. I just don't see it going away. I see it getting bigger and bigger. I can totally see it getting to I can see it getting to about 850 billion up to maybe 1.3 or 1.1 trillion, maybe even up to 2. I don't think it's going to be 2. I think it'll be between 800 billion and maybe 1.2, 1.3 trillion market cap. So if we know that, right? If we know that, then let's go back to XRP. So, a 1.618 extension for Ethereum puts Ethereum at an $800 billion market cap. XRP 4.236 extension is only 525 billion. And right now, it's $400 billion for Ethereum. So that would put XRP, if we had the same market cap as Ethereum at this moment, right? And the reason I'm saying this is because anytime XRP gets close to the Ethereum market cap, and it has been in the number 2 spot multiple times, I think, at least a couple, something weird happens, like just ask Brad Garlinghouse about it, and he references Ethereum and the competition, but they're 2 different blockchains, but they're sort of competing for that number 2 spot. So that would put XRP right around $7 to $8, maybe about $8.50. Yeah. So if XRP had a $400 billion market cap, that's where XRP would be. So let's see, 400 billion. Yeah, the 3.272. And the 3.7. No, actually, I'm sorry. $10. You're looking at $10. So, yeah. If XRP had Ethereum's market cap, which there's no reason why it can't. Not its soon to be price discovery market cap, but its current market cap, $10. I don't think XRP is going to take the number 2 spot this cycle. I mean, it could. Anything's possible, but I just don't really see it. Unless, of course, Ethereum doesn't break out. If Ethereum just takes a poop and doesn't really do anything, then I can totally see it catching up. The big one is going to be Solana, right? Because I would look at it more realistically when you compare it to Solana. And right now, we're at $121 billion for Solana. Where could it go for Solana? Well, you're looking at $324 billion. So even if Solana had a full 4.236 extension and Ethereum did nothing, Solana would still not even come close to an Ethereum market cap. So everybody thinks, oh, well, Solana's going to take the number 2 spot. Maybe it will eventually at some point. But I don't think it's going to be anytime soon unless Solana completely smashes through 400 billion, even 500 billion. Right? So just a couple of things to think about there. And the reason I don't like Solana is because you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. You're already above the all-time high, and you don't have no base. You basically went straight up, you pulled back, and now you're going up again. So there's really, it's a tough one. 1, 2. Let's see what the extension could be here. You got a 1, you got a 2, right? But you would really have to look at it in regular scale here. There we go. So you got a 1, 2, and then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Now we're gonna get 3, right? 4, and then 5. So I think it's got much more to go. But anyway, the chart I'm looking at here is others, because this is everything outside of the top 10. Once others clears through these retracement levels, let's see where we're at here. I think that's when, the smaller caps are going to really start to fly. And you're already above the 702 at 300 billion. So I think we could easily see $1 trillion outside of Bitcoin, outside of the top 10, which is freaking crazy, right? And then if you look at the whole thing, you're looking at between 750, which I think it's going to be higher than that, up to 1.78 trillion, which is pretty up there if you want to know the truth. But yeah, man, I don't even think this thing's even begun yet. But once we break through this, it could happen so fast, and then boom, and it's over. You know what I mean? So you got to be fast. You got to be quick. So yeah, I think that's it. I don't want to just keep ranting on. I mean, I love crypto, so I could talk about it all day. But you know what I mean? It's how much are you going to listen to? Look at this. Others actually had like a rising wedge, and we broke the top. That's cool, because usually rising wedges break down. So Theta is kind of like right here. Theta Fuel's like right in here. Altcoins right in there. And you could see what happened. We flagged out for quite some time here before we really start to let loose. Right? So let's look at, I think a good winner, one that you could count on, would be Chainlink. The reason why is because it had, look at all of that accumulation. I mean, that was just torture. You had this, right? You had a clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You had a clear ABC pullback. You had a 1, 2, 1, 2. I mean, this thing, I think I think it's going to be one of the, not the best winners, but if you're looking for a coin to play it safe, right? I would pick Chainlink. You know what I mean? Because look how monstrous this thing is, right? And it's already back at its retracement levels here. So, but I don't like to play it safe. I like to play it risky, especially when things are flying. Like, for example, Theta is right here. So why would I buy Link up here when I could buy Theta down here? See, it's all about where the coins are on their chart. You know what I mean? So Litecoin versus Bitcoin looks like it's just about had enough of the beat down. Look at that freaking diverge. This is like one of the most. This is weekly, by the way. Look at that weekly bullish divergence. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is quin. You have a quintupled or quadruple, quintuple bullish divergence, like, is unheard of, right? Or we'll just say quadruple. So we should get a short squeeze, right? This thing should just fire up like that at some point. I don't know when. It could take more time, but you can see it's basically been dying against Bitcoin. But every once in a while, like here, you get an explosion, right? And all of this is just one big wave with these little rallies in the middle. But I think you're gonna get a pretty big push, because when Bitcoin's above 100, 200K, people are gonna look at it like it's unobtainable, and they're gonna look for things that are like Bitcoin but are cheaper. And to me, the best other Bitcoin is Litecoin. I mean, you have Bitcoin Cash, and that's fine, and that'll probably go up too. But I think Litecoin is the better Bitcoin. It's the same proof of work. It's the same everything, but it's faster. So I think it's going to take longer for people to adopt Litecoin because people are still figuring out what Bitcoin is. But I think Litecoin's definitely a long-term play. I think it'll do well, especially if you look at it like silver, like a store of value. It doesn't have much utility except it's a means of exchange, but nobody really cares. So that's my thought about Litecoin. People ask about H bar. Yeah, H bar is going to do well, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got a 1, you got a 2, you got a 1, 2. And then let's see, did that take the low out? No, it didn't. So that's good. So you have a 1, 2, 1, 2, and now this could be firing up for a wave 3. Something like that. I don't own H bar. I never did. Not because I don't like it, not because I don't think it'll do well, but I just, it's just not one of them that I've held. But there's no doubt in my mind that this thing will perform very well. There's a lot of utility around H bar, so look at gold. Gold just had a fat weekly retrace. Look at that. Jeez. Okay, I think that's it here. ETH BTC. Has ETH BTC bottomed? Two-week chart. Look at that. We have a 9 on the 2-week. That's good. We just had one. Let's see what the monthly says. Not quite. Or not even close for the monthly. But that's because you had a lot of consolidation candles. So, alright, let's look at Bitcoin. Small time frame. Yeah, I think we're going to hit 100K, maybe even tonight or even tomorrow. This thing came up, and now it's flagging out. What do you think is going to happen? We're probably going to come up here and tag 100K. And it would be great if it happened on a Saturday because everybody's off work, everybody can talk about it. And you know what else? How cool is it that Bitcoin hits $100,000 right around Thanksgiving? Meaning, people are telling their friends, hey man, my Bitcoin's doing well. What about this coin? What about that? People talk, right? Thanksgiving. And what are people going to talk about? They're going to talk about Trump. They're going to talk about, whatever that people talk about. Some people don't talk about politics. I know we don't really. I mean, it just depends. But to me, Trump isn't really politics. It's more like, it's a freaking show, man. It's a show. But I know a lot of people are going to talk about crypto, and word of mouth spreads, and people download Coinbase, and there you go. People start flying, and hopefully Theta can get listed on Coinbase sometime soon. But yeah, this thing looks like it's channeling up. So sometimes it could break down, and it could be a flat. You could retest mid 90s before going up, right? Or a lot of times they just kind of pop to the upside. So I don't know the answer to that, but I would watch this trend line that is kind of messed up here. There we go. So I would watch that trend line. Bitcoin dominance is another topic. Oh Lord, look at that. Bitcoin dominance is finally getting its ass whipped. Not so much though on the broader sense, but on the small time frames, and that has to do with XRP, I would imagine. At least a little bit there. So ADA is on a daily 9. So I would probably take my profit on ADA if I was trading it. Not to say it's not going to go higher. I think it will. I know it will, but do we pull back first? Right? Do we consolidate? Right? You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it looks really good. VeChain is another one I think is going to do well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Right? You're in the middle of the third. So we'll see how big this thing gets, and we'll see if it gets to the retracement levels. Oh, that's what I want. ICP. I got it just in time before we broke out of that triangle, because I was waiting for that thing, and I caught it. So I'm hodling ICP, in case you were wondering. We got a big 1. Whoops, I don't know why it does that. We got a big 1, and we got a 2. I'm imagining 2 is finished. Now there could be a case where it's not. For example, this could be A, this could be B, and then we could come down for a C and then go. Totally possible, right? Totally possible. So we have, nothing is ever a for sure thing, ever, unless we get through the retracement levels. If we can get through the retracement levels, it's still not a for sure thing, but it totally it increases the probability, right? So anyways, that'll do it for this video. I don't think I have anything else to say. I'm just kind of looking at the charts. I kind of just do a live stream. You know how live streams go, they can take time. I don't edit the video, so it's basically a live stream that's a recording. Wow, SHIB did break out, didn't it? Or it didn't break, but it look at that. Nice. That's exactly what we talked about, right? Because this was 3, and then this came up, and then it started flagging out. So I said it's most likely going to pop the high. Now, we don't know if it's going to be 3 down, 3 up, and then 3 back down. 3, 3, 3, A or W, X, Y, then go. Or this was 3, 3, 3. There's your finished move. This is a 1. That's a 2. 1, 2. And now we're ripping for the third. 4, 5. Those are the two options. Which one's it going to be? It all depends if we can get through the 618, the 702, and all of these retracement levels, right? So that's what I'll be watching. Bohm has kind of been a little bit of a disappointment, but here's the thing: I'm not giving up on Bohm. Remember, alt season isn't here yet, so we gotta chill out a little bit. Worst case scenario with Bohm, we come in, we test that trend line. It's pretty far away, so just be aware of that. But I like what I'm seeing here. I think this thing is definitely coiling up in here, right? We're definitely coiling up in here. But worst case scenario, we come in, we hit this lower part, but I'm looking for a breakout. I like this as sort of an inverse head and shoulders, 1 2 1 2, and then we got another 1 2. I mean, it's just ticking down, right? It could take a little bit of time, but I think eventually when things go berserk, it's going to go berserk too. So maybe it does, maybe it goes to zero. I mean, you could lose all your money. I don't know. But I'm playing with it. I have a good feeling about it. We'll see what happens. All right, that'll do it. I will catch you guys on the next one. If you can hit that like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.